To our weather, we had a nice break in humidity over the weekend, and now we're looking at okay kind of weather, very seasonable weather for this point as we get toward the middle part of September. Our temperature right now 90, that's the average for right now, and our dew point temperature and our relative humidity a little bit on the lower side compared to where it could be. So still hanging on to that little bit of a drier feel that we've had lately. Our temperatures ranging from the upper 80s into the lower 90s depending on where you are a little bit. And all we're seeing right now is a couple of coastal showers and storms off of Plaquemines Parish. Not a lot of rain over us today, and we only have about a 10 or 20% chance for a stray shower later on. Will be kind of hot, high temperatures about 93, but it could be worse. At least we're not looking at triple digits for air temperatures, and actually not even our feels like temperatures in triple digits at this point, mostly feeling like upper 90s, factoring in the bit of humidity that we do have. This is today, 3 p.m. This model wants to put in a couple of showers, maybe a storm or two, but not a very high rain chance today at all. But generally tomorrow and through the end of the week, moisture will be going up a bit, so you may feel a little more mugginess, not a huge increase, but just a bit more. And then this is our forecast for tomorrow, about a 30 or 40% chance of rain tomorrow. But the rain that we do have this week, as another weak front moves in, it's going to be sort of spotty. No particular day looks like a big washout, or no day in particular with a super high chance for widespread showers and storms. But we might have a few spotty showers and storms as that front gets the push from the north to the south. Wanted to talk quickly about our daylight hours as we're getting almost to the first day of fall officially on September 23rd. But notice that our daylight hours peak, of course, in the summer at 14 hours of daylight per day. But in the winter, it goes down to about 10 hours where we are in the New Orleans area. So we're right in between that right now. But you may notice those days or the daylight time that we get each day going down. For example, today, these are our sunrise and sunset times. It gives us about 12 and a half hours of daylight. By the first day of fall, toward the end of this month on the 23rd, you can see sunset will already be just at 6:55, and we'll have lost about a half hour of daylight by that point. And then all the way to November 5th, when we get the daylight saving time change and we fall back that 1 hour. Sunset, of course, jumps to 5:10 p.m. and we'll have a little under 11 hours of daylight. So just wanted to touch on that getting into this part of the year where we're seeing that progressively happen more and more with that lower daylight number. Here is Hurricane Lee as we get into the tropics one day after the peak of the season. Moving rather slowly still to the northwest. It is a Category 3 hurricane at this point, so still a major hurricane, but is forecast to soon become a 4 as it taps into some of that warm water. However, it will eventually be moving into these slightly cooler waters. It will also encounter some wind shear, so you can see the forecast is back to a Category 1 toward the end of this week, but it does look like it will be getting at least somewhat near New England before it moves in, likely into the Canada Maritimes. And notice that there's a good consensus just west of Bermuda with some lower scale impacts for Bermuda, like high seas and so forth. And then our model's a little bit spread here off the coast of New England, but eventually moving into Canada, it looks like. Just to give you one idea, with our European model slowly moving, but a trough starts to move in and bring it north. This, by the way, is Margot, likely to strengthen but staying out at sea. And then this is the time frame by this weekend that there may be some rain and possibly even some wind effects for New England as this moves off to the north into Canada. So East Coast impacts, high surf and rip currents really along the East Coast this whole week. Late this week, it will be less intense, but likely a bigger storm. So that's why rain and wind will be possible for the Northeast U.S. and Canada. And again, this big trough of low pressure is drawing it off to the north and then keeping it generally northward even toward the end of this week. Again, we have Margot, likely to be a hurricane soon, but right now a tropical storm. And this one other wave might become Nigel, but this one looks like it's heading out eventually northward, so probably will not eventually get toward the Caribbean Sea or the Gulf of Mexico. So no threats for us. Pretty typical as far as temperatures go for this point in the year, as far as our high temperatures go this week.
Alex, thanks. Social Security